Welcome to part one of a four-part series that has been prepared for citizens considering running as a candidate for election in an Alberta municipality. Part one focuses on the importance of democracy at the local level and the purposes and legislative jurisdiction of a municipality. This series is meant to be thought-provoking and provide you with a broad overview of municipal government, the different roles in a municipality, what will be expected of you as a member of council, and the processes involved in running for council. It is important to remember that these videos are not a substitution for the legislation that contains local governance and election requirements. It is the election candidate's responsibility to ensure they meet the legislative requirements and deadlines for running for council. To assist in meeting those responsibilities, you can contact your local municipal office, review municipal election information on alberta.ca, and review the legislative requirements in the Local Authorities Election Act, the Municipal Government Act, and relevant regulations. This session will explore the foundation of democratic local governance in Alberta, as well as the purpose and jurisdiction of municipalities. Where do municipalities get their authority? All authority to make laws in Canada flows from the Constitution. However, the Constitution only creates two levels of government, the federal parliament and the provincial legislatures. This raises the question, where do municipalities fit into the picture? Legally speaking, municipalities are creatures of the provinces. The Constitution Act gives provinces the power to make laws on municipal institutions in the province. This means the provinces have the power to, and indeed do, create and regulate municipalities within their borders. In Alberta, the main piece of legislation governing municipalities is the Municipal Government Act, also known as the MGA. The MGA has over 18 parts and more than 700 sections. It is one of the largest pieces of provincial legislation and provides the legislative framework for the operation and administration of local governments in Alberta. It includes provisions on many subjects, including the scope of municipal powers, forming and dissolving municipalities, municipal councils, councillors, and committees, financial administration, property assessment and taxation, and land use planning and zoning. What many people find surprising is that the purpose and intent of the MGA is to provide autonomy to municipalities so that democratically elected councils can make decisions that will best suit their communities based on their unique needs. Although the province oversees the MGA and other legislation relevant to local governance, councils are primarily accountable to their electorate, the people that voted for their locally elected representatives. It is an enabling piece of legislation, as opposed to a prescriptive act, to ensure that this one act provides sufficient flexibility for municipalities of different municipal status types, such as cities, towns, counties, villages, summer villages, population sizes and demographics, and local locations across the varied geographic landscapes in this province. The needs of your municipality are probably significantly different than even your closest municipal neighbors. Many other pieces of provincial legislation also provide unique powers and responsibilities to municipalities, including in the areas of transportation, the environment, local elections, and access to information and privacy, just to name a few. The MGA also describes what purposes municipalities are required to serve. The purposes set out in Section 3 of the MGA are very broadly worded and leave a lot of room for interpretation and flexibility for municipalities. The first purpose is to provide good government. This will mean different things to different people, but some indicators of good government may include accountability, transparency, following legislation, being responsive and equitable to the public, operating in an effective and efficient manner, and being inclusive or participatory where reasonable. You may be able to list many other indicators of good government that come to your mind when you hear this term. Environmental stewardship. This is a relatively modern requirement that calls for councils to protect the natural environment through conservation and sustainability practices. Environmental stewardship may be reflected in council's policies, strategic land use planning, and decisions on capital projects, for example. To foster the economic development of the municipality. Councils have the authority and autonomy to plan for and provide facilities and services that balance the needs and expectations of their citizens with the financial capacity to build, operate, or offer the programs. Council can decide how services are offered, whether directly by the municipality in partnership with another municipality or multiple municipalities, by a contractor, regional service commissions, or municipally controlled corporations. Every community is unique, and local councils are in the best position to know the needs and wants of their citizens while being responsible to make the most appropriate decisions that also consider their obligation as the corporate financial stewards of the municipality. Safe and viable communities. This refers to public safety and security, as well as ensuring the ongoing sustainability or viability of municipalities. Collaborate with neighbors. This purpose came into force in 2018 and coordinates with the date the Intermunicipal Collaboration Framework, or ICF, provisions came into effect. While in past years the ministry always promoted and encouraged intermunicipal partnerships, the policy shift has been made to now mandate this collaboration. What does the MGA provide municipalities with to fulfill these municipal purposes? Usually, to get a job done, you need the right tools. To fulfill these purposes, the MGA gives municipalities two very powerful tools. The first one is natural person powers. This means that municipalities have similar powers to individuals and corporations that allow them to handle day-to-day operations as they see fit. Municipalities can make decisions that a natural person can make. For example, they can buy and sell land, enter into contracts, or buy the equipment they need, just like a normal person can. Natural person powers are intended to allow for greater flexibility and creativity for municipalities in how they conduct their business and fulfill their responsibilities under the MGA. Natural person powers extend to council as a whole and not to councillors individually. However, these natural person powers may still be restricted or limited by legislation. In other words, with natural person powers, municipalities must do those things that the legislation requires them to do. For example, pass a property tax bylaw or appoint a CAO. Municipalities must not do those things that the legislation prohibits, limits, or restricts them from doing. For example, while they can sell municipal land, they cannot sell it below market value without first advertising the proposal. And if the legislation is silent, municipalities may do anything else that a natural person may do. For example, open a bank account. To also fulfill these purposes, the MGA enables a council to pass bylaws on many general subjects or matters, including people's safety, health, and welfare, protecting property, people, activities, and things in or around public places or places open to the public, nuisances, including unsightly property, transport and transportation systems, businesses, business activities, and persons engaged in business services provided by or on behalf of the municipality, public utilities, wild and domestic animals and their activities, and bylaw enforcement. This list is intentionally broad. Section 9 of the MGA says the power to pass bylaws is stated in general terms to give broad authority to councils and to respect their right to govern municipalities in whatever way the councils consider appropriate. Broad authority also enhances the ability of councils to respond to present and future issues in their municipalities. The courts typically interpret municipal authority generously to allow municipalities to fulfill their purposes. For additional resources on local governance, the role of council and administration, and local election requirements, please contact your municipality or view the following resources available online: the Local Authorities Election Act, the Municipal Government Act, the Municipal Government Resources webpage, a candidate's guide running for municipal office in Alberta, Municipal Affairs Elections Overview webpage, the School Board Elections Guide, the Rural Municipalities of Alberta website, and the Alberta Municipalities website. If you have technical questions about legislation, contact a municipal advisor with the Ministry of Municipal Affairs, Municipal Advisory and Capacity Unit. Thank you for watching part 1 of this four-part series. You can find the remaining videos in this series on alberta.ca.